Now, guys, you already know that right now in Destiny 2 Season of the Haunted, we are in a pulse rifle meta. We got a lot of back of the map bandies slapping on the no time to explain, pretending as if they have the perk firmly planted on, and they're just spamming pulse rifle bullets at you. Well, I'm here today to tell you that there's another option to counter these pulse rifling Larrys, and that's to put on a 120 hand cannon. What is going on, YouTube? Matty here, and today I want to talk about the current meta, pulse rifles, and how you can counter pulse rifles with something other than a pulse rifle. Now, if you spent any time in PvP in the last month or so, you'll notice that more and more players are deciding to put on a pulse rifle and sit further in the back of the map. Why? Well, the simple answer is there's really no downside. If you're not good at pushing forward and you don't have that confidence of switching to a shotgun, there is literally no downside to sitting in the back and absolutely two-tapping the hell out of your enemy team. Pulse rifles not only have a massive hitbox, but they also have the ability to two-tap, and with certain rounds per minute, the flinch is so extravagant that it can suppress the enemy team from shooting back accurately. Now, why is this a problem in PvP as it stands? I'm glad you asked. Well, with current builds, especially seeing as Warlock Well and Bubble Titan are the fastest supers in the game, it allows for some very passive play, which can be really unhealthy in a PvP environment. More so, it's taking away the skill gap in the sense that movement is no longer needed with the style of play, and allowing a different type of player to win games that, frankly guys, they probably shouldn't. So, how do you counter a pulse rifle Andy in the back of the map? The easiest answer is to put on a pulse rifle yourself and use the exact things that they're using and just do it better than they are. But that could lead to some games that are far slower than you would want. So that got me thinking, how can we still be aggressive and counter those back of the map pulse rifles due to their increased range over something you may be using? Well, guys, I stumbled on this the other weekend while playing Trials, and although these weapons aren't exactly new, they definitely haven't been loved since the Rampage nerf a few seasons ago. And I'm talking about those beautiful 120 hand cannons. Now, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, or who might be new to Destiny this season, 120 hand cannons used to have a perk called Rampage. Now, I shouldn't say they used to have a perk, as they still have the perk, but it's generally useless. Back in the day, you used to be able to get a kill, Rampage would proc, and then you would become a two-tapping animal. This would allow you to two-tap all of your enemies within a short amount of time, and it was absolutely disgusting, and oh boy, did I love it. So many clutches were had, guys. It was nice. But Bungie saw this as too strong, and nobody really used 140 hand cannons during this meta. So until 120s got nerfed, 140s were just kind of in the dust. Now let's get into why you should be using a 120 today. 120s are fantastic, as not only do they do a +10 in damage to their counterpart of 140 hand cannons, 70 damage to the head versus 80, but they also have incredible range that can challenge pulse rifle distance. Now personally, guys, I don't like using pulse rifles. Find them kind of boring and just not really all that exciting. Am I saying people who use pulse rifles are bad people and they're boring? No! It's just a different play style that I personally don't enjoy, so instead, I use a 120. So what are some of the perks other than the range? Well, 120 hand cannons have an incredible hitbox, making it far easier to hit headshots from a distance. This will allow you to challenge pulse rifles and be aggressive, moving up, allowing you to head closer, getting those shots and taking out the enemy team. Let's go over what you should be using and how you should be using it, and for God's sakes, please still don't jump in the air with it. Now, if you played Trials of Osiris before they took Igneous Hammer out of the loot pool, that is one of my favorite 120 hand cannons in the game. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, guys. The gun signature is awesome. The sound is just, I don't know, it just sounds good. And the rolls you can get for it are just fantastic. It's probably one of the juiciest 120s that you can get. Now, what are some rolls that you want for it? Well, for the third column, we're looking at Killing Wind, Rapid Hit, Quick Draw, or even Overflow. Really great picks already to have for a hand cannon in PvP. For the last slot, we have Snapshot, we have Opening Shot, Moving Target, even Elemental Capacitor. All in all, guys, this hand cannon was made for PvP, and it has all the right perks to prove it. So go look in your vault if you have one, you have any of these combinations, and see how it fits your playstyle, and just go out and have a great time. You don't have Igneous Hammer? Check to see if you have a Steady Hand, You got that from Iron Banner. There's probably a True Prophecy somewhere hiding in there that I believe was a world drop, but oh my goodness, was it hard to get. But if you don't have any of those hand cannons in your vaults, head into Gambit. Listen, guys, I know. Hear me out for just a second. There's a 120 hand cannon, and they call it the bottom dollar. And listen, it's fantastic. It comes with all the great rolls, but it has an incredibly large perk pool. So don't get one that you want right away. Keep on grinding and just see how it feels out for you. I believe if you head over to the Drifter, you can get some Ingrams. You can actually focus your Gambit Ingrams to try to get the exact weapon that you want. Makes it a little bit easier. Guys, we don't have to use pulse rifles to counter pulse rifles. Although I think this meta is temporary, it definitely is not a fun time to be playing PvP right now. And I hope that this style can bring a little bit of spice, maybe variety, into your PvP play. So as always, guys, let me know down below if you guys are using 120s, if you're gonna use a 120, and what do you think of the current meta as it stands right now? As always, guys, thank you so much for the support and love. I really do love you guys. I'll see you on the next one.